not saying it's anybody's fault, but you know, it's different. And I was in have you guys ever been to Portland, Oregon before? Anyway, I was in Portland a few years ago, and I was having lunch with some fancy people in a fancy restaurant. You know, it was the middle of the day, and the restaurant had a huge picture window in front of it. And as I'm sitting there eating and talking to these fancy people, I see this girl, and she's walking back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Definitely manic. She was a cute girl. She was about 19, 20 maybe. And so after a little bit, I excused myself from this fancy lunch I was at, and I walked outside and I went, hey, what the fuck's the matter? And she goes, I want to go home. And I said, well, anything I can do to help you go home? She goes, I don't think so. I said, well, I can buy you a plane ticket, or I could buy you a bus ticket, whichever you prefer, and you can go home. Turns out she lived about 500 miles away from Portland. And she said, they don't want me there. She said, my parents said I'm too much trouble. So I said, how long have you been on the streets? She goes, about a year. And I said, well, you know what? How about if I give you a little bit of money, you can go get something to eat? And she looked at me and she goes, do I have to have sex with you? I said, no, you don't have to have sex with me. So I gave her $100, and she saw the $100, and guys, she just snatched it out of my fucking hand so quick and took off running, and I could still see her little dirty feet. She was barefoot. Her little dirty feet running down the street, and she turned over on the corner of her neck, and she goes, I don't know who you are, but thank you for my lunch. So I don't know whatever happened to that little kid. I don't know where she's at. I don't know anything about her. But when I got home, I wrote this song about her. It's called The Eyes of Portland. And I'll probably fuck it up because I haven't played it in about a year. So. As I saw through the eyes of Portland one day, there were so many homeless that had gone astray. They slept on the corners during the day, as not to be harmed when the sun went away. There were old ones and young ones and white ones and black. They were all shapes and sizes with rags on their backs. So many people mixed up in this stew. With no place to go, they had nothing to do. All of these homeless, where do they come from? In this land of plenty, where nothing gets done. Help those that are empty and unable to run. Tears and prayers won't help the homeless. Some are mentally ill, some are higher than kites, selling their bodies as day turns to night. Where are their loved ones? Does anyone care to be lost and alone in the middle of nowhere? All of these homeless in this land of plenty where nothing gets done to help those that are empty and unable to run. Your tears and prayers won't help the homeless. What will it take for our country to see? For the grace of God go they, and not you and me. The fallen and forgotten who are down on their knees, living here in the gutters, in the land of the free. All of these homeless, where do they come from? In this land of plenty, where nothing gets done to help those that are empty and unable to run. Your tears and prayers won't help the homeless. Your tears and prayers won't help